For a more in-depth look at this, let's bring in our political analyst, Harvey Kronberg. Harvey, good to have you back in the studio.
A pretty interesting weekend we just went through.
Definitely. So let's talk about it. The big story over the weekend is Democrats taking over this historically Republican district in Tarrant County. How big of a win is that in a Trump plus 17 district for Democrats heading into an important election this November?
Well, it's easy to overinflate the consequence because special elections are really kind of unique creatures. They're small turnout, and it typically takes a really motivated voter to show up. What is interesting about this race, though, is by any account, it looks like there were people who normally vote Republican that defected. The kind of official number that's going around Republican circles right now is about 13 to 15%. Normally Republican voters broke and voted for the Democrat this time. If that is the case, then that shows a substantial defection among establishment Republicans finally in Texas, and it suggests, for the most important thing is, it suggests that Democrats may be investable. Going into this election, it looked like the big money wasn't really interested in Texas. They didn't see it as competitive.
Now, President Trump posted 3 times about Lee Wamsgans, the Republican candidate in this election. What does it mean for her that she still lost, even with those endorsements? And does it throw into doubt the validity of the president's endorsements when afterwards, as we heard earlier in the show, he's going to just pretend he doesn't know them?
It's pretty consequential in the sense that, first of all, let me simply say that if he attacks a primary candidate, it's much more effective than him endorsing one. Republicans are beginning to separate themselves. If you look at the polling, especially ever since Minnesota, there's Republican high disapproval of the president, or historic disapproval of the president. So it does suggest that he's not going to be very consequential going through the rest of the
And we're talking
cycle.
about the president's endorsements. We're talking about the winter storm that kind of impeded some of the voting, all this runoff stuff. But in November, can the Democrat Taylor Remmett hold on to this seat when there's going to be a much bigger turnout?
I wonder if Republicans' participation is going to be suppressed. I mean, Republicans are pretty depressed right now. All the optics are working against everything other than the Republican primary voter. The Republican primary voter remains relatively loyal to Donald Trump. I'm not sure about November Republicans that people who normally just vote Republican in November.
So you could see it flipping back to Republican?
That's the conventional wisdom, but this is a really unique time right now.
Not conventional times.
If we still have ice in the streets, if we still have Greenland as a subject matter, all of those things are negotiable.
Harvey, let's get to the U.S. Senate race because fundraising numbers came in over the weekend. Jasmine Crockett, James Talarico on the Democratic side are getting really competitive. Talarico raised $6.9 million in the last fundraising period, while Crockett she reported $6.5 million. But some controversy there. Crockett transferred about $4 million from her congressional campaign to this new campaign. But Harvey, doesn't the money all spend the same?
Yes, it does ultimately, but the bottom line really is you really want a bunch of small donors. When Donald Trump didn't need small donors, particularly when he ran in 2016, but every time somebody sends you $5, they are a committed voter. And that suggests a much deeper network inside Democratic politics for Talarico than Crockett.
And that's the big point that the Talarico camp made to us as we were reporting it out. They've got more individual contributions, so it will be interesting to see how this plays out. But, you know, Crockett actually had promised record-breaking number. She actually hauled in $2 million in that 3-week period from her late entry into the race till the end of the fundraising period. And it's, like I said, not record-breaking. In fact, Talarico raised $6 million in his first 3 weeks entering to the race. But does that matter to voters? Do they care, or is it just stuff for people like me and you?
Mostly it's just stuff for you and I, but it is a barometer of how deeply her message is penetrating, considering the fact that she had much higher name ID than James Talarico. In fact, there are still some Democrats trying to figure out how to pronounce his name. But the fact that huge disparity, also I have to say, the fact that she didn't reveal her numbers till the end of January suggested from the get-go that there was going to be something controversial about them.
Yeah, she's certainly running an unconventional campaign.
Yes.
So thank you for your time, Harvey. We always love having you on the program.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.